Hello, my beautiful friends. This is Magical Michelle, and this is my free gift back to you for all that you have done with this channel and with the opportunities that you have been looking at for 2023. This is my opportunity to say thank you for following the channel, following me, working with me. I love you so much. And so this is our reflect and review session for 2023. It's the first one of a 3-part series where I'm going to go through the process of letting go of 2023. Connecting to 2024 is tomorrow's big video. And then we're going to do some creation energy and activation energy on the final of these 3. And so welcome to a beautiful, amazing opportunity to be in community together. I only ask that you like, share, and comment. So like if you're here live, do me a favor and just say I'm here, or magical 23 or magical 24, something that says you're actually here live, and then like and share this video so that we can really support and build our community. I really feel like 2023 was a powerful year. This was a huge catalyst for change within the collective. It was a 7-year, and the 7 energy has a lot to do with going behind. And yes, you've got a little joy back here in the background. So if you see some movement, even the camera moving, that's probably her. She's been very helpful this morning. But both her and Smudge have been helping with the setup. So we'll see what happens. It is Mercury retrograde. But you know what I always say about Mercury retrograde? Mercury retrograde is literally one of the best times for reviewing. It's one of the best times for releasing. It's one of the best times for realigning and recalibrating. So I have a system that I do every single year. And I've been doing this for many, many years. And for me, the biggest part of that creation energy is the letting go. It is the tearing down of the old paradigm. And here's the thing, it doesn't mean you even have to be letting go of bad things. Sometimes we want to let go of even good things that are complete. So that means gratitude. So I start with a huge piece of paper, usually an entire notebook, and I start writing down what I'm grateful for. And I will look at the pictures for the entire year. I start at January and I go through my phone. There's a huge recording now, something that smartphones have made available for us. Yes, that is me helping Joy not knock everything off the table. One of the things that is really interesting is now that we have our phone, it really catalogs exactly where we've been through the year. You know, to me, it seems like a really long time ago, but it was only February I was in Australia. So it's like, wow, a year ago, right now, I was in Egypt. So as I'm going through this review process, I'm going into gratitude. I'm also looking at what I have accomplished, how far I've come, and in some areas what I committed to that maybe hasn't come to fruition that I may want to recommit to. So this is how I start. I turn it into a ritual. And I usually light candles, even if it's daytime. So I have this beautiful candle. This was a gift from a beautiful friend here in Soul Circle. And so I'm going to start with lighting this. It smells so good. This soy candle that has beautiful amethysts in it. And it just allows me to sort of use that energy of fire to set the intention of this review. And I start the review with this big pad of notebook paper, which I'm willing to throw away. So some people like to use it as a journal. Some people don't like to keep it. So it depends on how you want to see it. Do you want your review to be revisited at another time, or do you want to completely let it go? So you might want to do like a gratitude list in a journal, and then things you want to let go onto separate pieces of paper. We have a couple of different ways that we do it. I am preparing this list personally to burn. And so what I want to do is I want to actually write out that which needs to be released. I'm grateful for this and it's complete. I no longer need this, and it no longer serves me. I forgive this and I let it go. I accept this and I let it go. And what's interesting, I was just working with a client and this morning, and I said something that I think is really important to say here again, which is that there is a difference between first accepting something and then forgiving it. There is also something where you forgive something, but you haven't necessarily accepted it. There is also that third part where you might have forgiven it, you might have accepted it, but you haven't turned it over and surrendered it or let it go. So make sure that all three of those pieces are done to feel complete in every area of your life. And I do a review. I do a review of my health. Where was my health? And like this year, my health is so much better. I did get a little sick over the holidays, but I really feel that that was an ascension symptom, shedding, like letting go in the body of an old paradigm. But if I look at like my inflammation, my health, just how I feel in general and vibrancy, I'm 1,000 times better than I was a year ago. And if I look back 10 years, I am really, really have changed my health, youth, and vitality. I feel healthier and more youthful than I did 12 years ago. And that's all thanks to Theta Healing. But whatever that is for you, maybe you feel worse in your health, and then that becomes on your list of things you want to create in 2024. So if you're like, okay, I've come this far, you can also say, and I would like to get this much further next year. So I really kind of do a where am I check in. And then I have this, and it's hard to say how you want to word it. Some people call it goals. Some people call it manifestation. I really like to call it dream work or intention work, because I am creating it. I am actually connecting to the version of me that has a soul level desire for 2024, where I want to be in that year, what vibration I need to create. And that's really a conversation for one of the next videos. But just this is what I'm starting to do is look at where I've been, where I am, and where I'm going. That's the process. And that's why these 3 videos are how we're going to break it down together. So today I want you to think about, I invite you to think about, reflect, and reorganize in your mind, on paper, in your brain, and in your energy field, where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And write down, I really think the power of writing it down and putting it into fire. Fire is my favorite way of letting something go. It is very transformative and it is very illuminating. We're in this energy of this is disseminating full moon. We're going to have that energy all week long where we are letting go. In fact, I think it's interesting. I really don't think we'll feel the new year fully embraced until after the new moon in January. So we have about a 2-week period of time where we're still in a release period. We have Mercury in retrograde until the 1st. So this whole week with the disseminating full moon right now is the perfect time for release rituals. In fact, New Year's Eve is an incredible time to do a release burn ritual where you let go by building a bonfire. And in fact, one of my friends, she brought all of her bills to, even paid ones, like all of last year's bills that have been paid, she just put them into the bonfire and let go of debt. That's just a way you can ritualize something. Anything that you want to do that is creative, this is the time of the return of the light. Today is also, the moon is in Cancer, which allows for us to be really reflective of our home. I love a good smoke sage. You can use any kind of smoke that works for you. I like white sage. And so I will actually smudge the house. This is a great week. Today is one of the best days, but anytime this week, go ahead, go through the home, smudge the home. You can use a lavender sage based smudge stick. A lot of people like to use cedar. Some people like to put a little bayberry oil into a smudge stick. Put a couple drops of bayberry because bayberry is so good for prosperity this time of year. I'm pretty simple, and I just will smudge the entire house in a clockwise fashion, opening the front door and asking the energy to leave. I will follow it with a smudge broom, where I've actually got a cinnamon broom that I move through and sweep old energy out of the house. And then I will do a third round through the house with frankincense, which for me is my favorite, in both a smudge stick and or an incense, which I'll call a smudge stick. I will go through the house with about 5 of these at the same time and actually walk through and reprogram the house with this highest vibration. Another good thing you can do here at this New Year's, or some people do it at Chinese New Year's, is actually use a singing bowl. You can use it and actually chime it on the edges. I like a brass bowl versus a crystal bowl for this, where you're actually going through and opening drawers and opening cabinets and hitting the corners, opening pantries, and going to all the corners of the house, getting all the old negative energy out of the house. And so you can actually do that as well if you feel like that you're called to do that. You can use a bell, you can do a pot and pan if you don't have a fancy tool. And I just wander through the house making sure that all the places are open. Anywhere the energy may be stuck, you can just remove old energy, wake it all up. And of course, you can rearrange your house. Anytime you move 27 things in Feng Shui, you're actually changing your energy. So it is obviously a really good time to tidy, to rearrange as you're putting away maybe holiday decorations, to do a deep clean. Of course, when I'm doing cleaning, I'm in love with a lemon juice wash on my floors. And then if I'm doing if I feel like I have a deeper clean, I'll actually crush up a little bit of lavender in a mortar and pestle and put that into the carpets to bring up any fresh energy. I live in Florida, so this is a time of year where I will go around the outside of my house and I will throw old rose petals around to just bless the space on the outside as an offering. That may or may not be right for you if you're up north in the snow, but that's just my traditions. So this is that day. This is the day where I am cleansing, clearing, removing, and releasing all of that old energy. I'm doing it physically. I may take a spiritual bath or a spiritual shower with some Epsom salt. And then I will finish by anointing myself. And I might use a sacred frankincense by Young Living. My favorite is actually using Bloom Temple oils. And I personally like right now the rose oil for my heart and the frankincense for my third eye and the back of my neck. This is what I've been using this week. And then I will possibly put a third oil, which is orange oil on my hands, which at this time of year brings the energy of abundance. So whatever rituals you are doing, it's meant to bolster yourself. It's meant to literally activate the energy of gratitude, the energy of seeing how far you've come, and in a review of, wow, I'm strong. I am powerful. I maybe have done more than I thought I have this year. And even if you're in a negative place, you can look at, where do I want to go? Where do I want to be? How do I want to set this up? And of course, right now I'm actually working with a big fat rose quartz. It doesn't have to be this big and it doesn't have to be heart-shaped, but I do love my heart-shaped crystals. And so right now I've just got this. As I'm doing the review, I'll place my hand with the crystal on my heart so that I am gentle with myself. This process isn't meant to be a beat yourself up. In fact, it is really meant to be a build yourself up process. So I like to have something like a rose quartz crystal, maybe to hold or to place on my heart, or to just be in the energy field. Like the candle has amethyst in it. It doesn't have to be rose quartz. It can be whatever crystal or energy that feels like it brings you joy. Just like right now I have red, white, and pink roses on my altar. These are things that are meant to inspire me and to bring me to a place of peace, to a place of compassion with myself, a place of kindness with myself. And so I recommend that we are in this very loving energy with the Cancer full moon. You might want to use moonstone. I've heard a lot of people talking about moonstone this week. I love and have a bracelet that's moonstone and sunstone that Marissa made for me. And I like to wear that right now, which is showing me the balance between the masculine and the feminine, the moon and the sun, because we've got this Capricorn energy of becoming, and we have the Cancer moon of being, and it's an incredible balance right now. So I just encourage you today, or whatever time this week, that you can reflect, release, and allow yourself to review what it is you're proud of, review what it is you are have been excited about. Maybe you need to release something that was hurtful, or maybe there is something that you could resent, but it would be better to be left into an energy of acceptance and forgiveness. It's a great time to lay down any grudges. It's a good time to say, this person used to be really important to me, and now I release you. And I'm going to say that whatever it was that we had, I'm grateful for that. But you're not necessarily part of my life going forward. It's an incredible time to do that. And it's also a credible time to decide who it is that gets access to your energy in a new way. You don't have to completely eliminate everyone, but maybe if they haven't really truly shown that they care about you in a way that you want to be cared about, maybe it's time to change the relationship. Maybe it's time to, in this review, go, yeah, I want to be in a better relationship with the people around me. So I'm going to move this person into a second tier of my life instead of having as much access to my time, energy, and my thought process. We want that inner tier of people to be the people we truly trust, not necessarily the people we have the most time in with or the most energy in with, but the people who have proven that we are in trust. So sometimes a new person in your life can build a better trust than an old person in your life. Doesn't mean we have to like banish that person forever from our life, but maybe we spend less time with them. Maybe we give their opinion less energy. This is an incredible time as well this week to cut any energetic cords. Are you leaking your energy? Is there an incomplete project that you either need to get on your schedule to finish, or maybe it's an incomplete project you have to let go of completely and just decide, I don't want to give it any more time, any more money, any more energy. I'm just going to let it go. And sometimes we feel like that's a failure or a time waste, but actually giving something that's no longer in alignment, our time, our money, our energy, our thought, it actually could sink us by continuing to go in that direction. So it's really better for us to just sever that tie. And that can be a friend, that could be a time leak, that could be a broken item in your house. Maybe you spent a lot of money for and it didn't work right off the bat, or maybe you bought something or someone gave you something that's really expensive that you're never going to use, but it's taking up, a lot of storage space. Maybe there's that broken thing in the garage you're never going to finish or refinish. I have these big ideas that I'm going to refinish furniture and I never do. So I've let go of some of that furniture. And what's really awesome is somebody else has that furniture and loves that furniture. I had dishes from my grandmother and I loved these dishes. And one year in this same process, I gave these dishes to someone who has the proper storage and can actually use them. So I'm more likely to see them and eat on them in their house than in my garage. So what is, and it was china. It wasn't just like dishes. It was my grandmother's china. So what is it that is deeply holding you back? And either write it down or make a plan to release it. That is today's home play assignment. If you want to have a little sheet with my preparing for ritual, Marissa's created this beautiful sheet where it's advice on how to prepare for ritual. We have a crystal grid, which we're going to use on the last day of these 3 days of review. You can actually, we'll drop a link and you can actually download these sheets that I use at the end of the year to create. I always create a crystal grid. And we'll talk about that in one of the later videos. But today we're just offering it to you as a free gift. You're welcome to download it. And that way you have the paperwork for the third video. And of course, like I said, today you don't need any kind of fancy paper. You're just going to write out what you're letting go and either burn it today or at the end of these 3 days, you can do a burn maybe on New Year's Eve. That's what I'm going to do. So today, any day you feel like it, or perhaps New Year's Eve, whatever feels right for you. And I just want to thank you again for being just a true value of our Soul Circle community, our Living Magically community. And my promise and commitment is to continue to serve you in 2024. I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about 24 tomorrow. We're going to talk about some astrology and things you can do to get connected. But today release, realign, readjust your thinking to letting go, reflecting, and allowing yourself to be in deep gratitude for who you are today, because all of your past has made you this beautiful person. So one last piece, which is when you're looking at your past, it is a reflection of the now. We don't want to live in the past. We really want to look at it as how far I've come and where I am today. We don't want to look at it as a form of regret. We want to look at it as, where am I in my gratitude? What last pieces of the old identity are we letting go of? Because this old identity will hold us back as we're creating our new identity going forward. What do we have to release to be part of the new version of us? How do we let him or her go to be our best version of ourselves? Thank you again. Live magically, and I'll see you again same time tomorrow.